I'm going to talk a little bit about strength training in sports. Strength training for swimming, strength training for biking, and running, and triathlon. Now I know most people when we talk about strength training for these type of sports, you think of doing strength to increase performance. And it's true, strength training can increase performance. But I'm trying to throw you, look at it a little bit different angle here. Okay, I'm talking about strength training to prevent injuries. Now I'm a sports chiropractor, and every day I have patients that come into me with shoulder injuries, knee problems, back problems. And they're usually the result of lack of core strength, glute strength, lower body strength. And it's very common, if you're a runner you know this, it's very common for you to just run. If you're a cyclist, you just cycle. Most of the time, people, runners, cyclists, they're not spending enough time strength training, to at least enough time to even strength train enough to actually get stronger and therefore prevent the injuries. Okay? You spend all this time biking, running, money on wheels, helmets, shoes, and then you can't run because your knee hurts. And that most of the time, the patients that are coming to see me, they could avoid all this by doing a strength training routine. So what I've actually done, I've developed a specific strength training routine for swimmers, bikers, and runners. Okay, I've done this through Training Peaks, where it's a 10-week program where each day is laid out for you as far as what exercises to do, and I also include recovery and specific strength, nutritional, and diet protocols in there. What people don't understand sometimes is there's a progression through strength training. You just don't jump in and just strength train. Okay, so what I've done in these programs, I developed specific exercises for swim, bike, and run, and it's a basically 10-week program. So we go through a phase of muscular enhancement where we're going to bring those muscles online and get them used to doing some exercise. Then we're going to lay a foundational strength and really build a foundational strength, and then we move into a more progressive strength and then power. And exercises need to be laid out in that specific order. If you just kind of just jump in and want to start doing power exercises without the foundational strength, you're going to have a good chance of getting hurt. Okay? And honestly, I mean, co-pays nowadays, they're $50 a visit. So patients are coming in to see me, paying us $50 a copay so they could develop the strength programs, which if they would have just spent the time initially, they might not have gotten hurt. So, like I said, I've created these programs. They're laid out. They're basically a 10-week program, and I give you all the exercise you need to develop that foundational strength. Now, these exercises, don't get me wrong, they will help you with your sport, okay? Because they're specific for swim, bike, or run. So you could do them for strength to improve your sport, but really, really injury prevention, injury prevention. That, I hate seeing patients come in that are training for a marathon or a big triathlon, and here a month out before the race they got, knee pain, patellar tendonitis, or their back goes out, and I can't tell you how many times the first thing I ask them is, how often are you doing strength training? And it's, majority of the time it's, well, I do it maybe once a week, or if that, so they just, triathletes, they swim, bike, and run, and they don't spend a lot of time strength training. Same thing with runners. So what ends up happening, they get hurt, and now they're in the physical therapy for a few weeks. So if you go on to Training Peaks, and you could just go log in, click author, and write my name as author, Jeff Banas, and what you do is you'll come up with some of the strength sessions. And also, with all these type of strength sessions that I have, I also include any type of a consultation with me. So if you got a question out through the strength training routine, drop me an email, pick up the call, give me a call. So really what I'm hopefully trying to do is save you a little pain and suffering from injuries, but also try to save you some money so you don't have to go through a bunch of physical therapy. And like I said, the majority of the time I'm seeing the people are not doing a lot of the strength training. And here's the other thing. It basically takes, in order to build strength, you do need to be doing strength training about 3 times a week. Now to maintain the strength that you built, all you need to do is basically do a strength session once a week. So that's the way I've laid out these programs. It's basically a 10-week program, and we do strength training 3 times a week specific towards your sport. And I include some cutting-edge recovery protocols and strength protocols that can help you out too. But then the idea of this program is take you through a 10-week program all through the muscular enhancement, foundational strength, progressive strength, and then power exercises. And so once you've gone through that series of 10 weeks, you know, you could just do that exercise now once a week to maintain it. But really, if you're really serious about your sport, if you're serious about injury prevention, really look into some type of strength routine to get to where you need to be, so you just kind of do one exercise a week to maintain it.